And a magician, Modric and Messi, two majestic players, but only one will reach Sunday's World Cup final. We're underway. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and we're also live on the BBC World Service across Africa, as Croatia are playing from right to left as we look. I think it's fair to say they're attacking the Buenos Aires end here in the Lusail Stadium. Although, to be fair, with the exception of the red and white of Croatia in the bottom tier away towards our right-hand side, there are Argentinian fans everywhere. Here is Sosa, back to Guardiol. And there's also a new ball for the semi-finals and the final. They used Alrilia, which is the journey up until now. And now they've changed it. The official ball is called the Dream, Al Hilm. It's a golden ball that will be used tonight, tomorrow and on Sunday, as Argentina pick up the ball, and then the ball goes out of play, and it will be a throw on that far side.
Just looking at that Argentinian midfield, Ian, it's McAllister that sort of taking that left-hand side role, De Paul on the right, and Paredes and Fernandez in the middle.
Here is De Paul, quickly out with his feet by Romero to Otamendi to come forward. Very settled side throughout this tournament. Croatia, 9 have started all 6 matches in this tournament in a World Cup where they are yet to score the opening goal. Here is De Paul on the near side, the right, looking to try and get it forward towards Molina, the right back, in a foot chase with Sosa. It gets on the end of it as well, does the right back. Well, there's your answer, Rob. You asked that question to Pablo Zabaleta.
Yep. He's getting forward, isn't he? It doesn't get much of a question asked. It just goes. Does well. It's a good ball for him to reach, and there wasn't really the presence in the middle there that was going to make it a real threat, but there was indecision at the back for balls over the top from Croatia.
Throw for Croatia on the left. It's a long one up towards Kramaric, over his head. De Paul then lays the ball back, and now it is with Romero inside the centre circle of the Argentinian half in these early stages here on BBC Radio 5 Live. And it's cut out there in the midfield by Brozovic to Modric. Perisic tries to spin away, but the challenge will come in now from Molina, and it goes out of play. And our referee, by the way, is Daniel Ossato from Italy. And we hope that we don't have to call in his Italian colleague, Massimiliano Errati, who's on VAR duties. Here, though, is Enzo Fernandez in the midfield. Otamendi plays it forward, and now with Paredes, Romero will run forward, a little bit of space on the halfway line, goes back inside, De Paul. Molina is quite high on this near side to right. Argentina playing from left to right. De Paul looking to try and get Tagliafico forward, and the one bounce, and it's caught by the keeper.
There's huge concentration on the Croatian players every time they get the ball, Argentina, to stop that ball into Messi. You know he wants to try and drop deep, but the number of players that are around him and stopping that.
Driving forward there from the midfield was Brozovic, looking for Kramaric, and Argentina, with Romero's quick thinking, is trying to play it off the legs of Kramaric. Will get an Argentinian throw, but already, Rob, in these opening 3.5 minutes, we've seen both fullbacks for Argentina getting forward.
Yeah, they've got space to get forward. It's really interesting. Alan touched on it there. McAllister's also taking up a really good position. And Brozovic in the midfield, the sitting midfielder for Croatia, who's got his work cut out because he's got people coming up on either side, so he's just going to have to spend the whole night turning his head, picking his moment, who to pick up.
Alvarez loses out, he ran into Pasalic. It's lifted forward then by Modric to Sosa with his long fair hair on this near side to left. Perisic plays it back, and now with Kovacic back out towards the Tottenham player Perisic, and floats over across, and it's well claimed by Emi Martinez. Good confident take, wasn't it?
It's what you need as a centre half when that ball comes in. Come and help, come and take the pressure off. Did it really well.
Now with Fernandez drifting out towards the left-hand side, plays it back to McAllister, goes away from him, but there in the midfield is Paredes, and now with Messi, you can hear the excitement around the stadium when Messi got a little touch of the ball there, as De Paul, still quite deep in the midfield, out now towards Fernandez, who will turn. Tagliafico, the Argentinian supporters inside the stadium raise the volume. We're used to that. We had it on so many occasions in that gripping quarter-final tie against the Netherlands on Friday night. Argentina, though, in possession. 5 minutes played here on BBC Radio 5 Live, and it is still goalless. Romero to De Paul, triangular passing patterns from the Argentina players, and Paredes just trotting forward, and then he hits a pacey ball, but that was he's pulled it away from Molina, out for a goal kick.
It's interesting where De Paul's playing in the midfield. He's playing very narrow, and he's the outside one of the four. But because he's playing narrow, Perisic can't go out. He can't go and get attracted to Molina. He's got to stay narrow. That leaves Molina the space in the wing.
So much experience in the commentary box tonight. Two players who've played for England at a World Cup. Rob Green in South Africa in 2010, and indeed Alan, sliding challenge. The referee's going to play the advantage, I think, but they're not happy about that. The bench down below, but play does continue. But you captained England against Argentina in '98.
I did. You don't have to remind us of the result at the end of it as well, Deno.
I wasn't going to do that.
Thank you.
6 minutes played. Only now when players stop, but the Croatian bench down below were not happy. And the fourth official at the moment is just having to have a word, whilst quietly Zlatko Dalic, the coach, is in the ear of the assistant referee. To the credit of Daniel Orsato, the Italian referee, he did try to let the game flow.
Yeah, he did. Sorry, Rob. And I think what's also been a theme, certainly in the knockout stages, is that there's so many boxes when the substitutes, the coaches, the manager are all up there trying to attack the referee and put as much pressure on as possible, and that's exactly what the Croatians were doing then.
We certainly saw that against the Netherlands on Friday here. Back to Emi Martinez, all in green. Goes over the head of Alvarez and out of play for a throw. 7 minutes played. Whilst the World Cup is winding down, we don't stop when it comes to live football on 5 Live. Thursday night, the Scottish Premiership Rangers Hibs from 8 o'clock. And next Tuesday, League Cup action, 4th round on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Tuesday, MK Dons, Leicester City. Wednesday, Manchester United, Burnley. Thursday, Manchester City, Liverpool. And the Premier League returns on Boxing Day. BBC Radio 5 Live is your place for the live football, whether it's at the World Cup or domestically. Gvardiol, who I'm sure we'll be seeing in the Premier League very, very soon, at the heart of that Croatian defence. Still 0-0. And now Brozovic takes over. Here is Kovacic at a walking pace midway through his own half. Kramaric gives it back to him. Argentina drop off. Brozovic now passes the ball across to Lovren. Now playing his football in Russia at St. Petersburg. Modric out towards the right-hand side. The ball trying to get it up towards Pasalic. It will go to a Croatian throw on that right-hand side. Is that what you were referring to earlier about just taking their time to get up the pitch?
Yeah, you look at Modric and what a wonderful player he is, and he's needed all over the pitch. Just his ability on the ball, so he'll drop into that back line to get the ball, to progress it forwards. And once they do, you just almost need him up there again. I was watching them against Brazil, and you're kind of thinking they needed 2 Modricics in the team. There's not 2 in the world.
And as Alan was saying as well, there is certainly no shortage of experience. Kovacic's 90th appearance tonight, Brozovic's 83rd, and Modric 161. Here is Kramaric midway through the Argentina half. Sosa provides the width, the left back on this near side. The return ball from Perisic goes away from him. Romero tidies up for Argentina, helped out by De Paul, plays it back, and then Molina, the right back, is closed down by Kramaric, and it will be a throw to Argentina deep inside their own half. We've been playing for nearly 10 minutes and it's still 0-0. Don't think you've ever had a bad game when you've been doing 5 Live, have you?
Pressure right on now then, isn't it?
I won't mention the score from Saint Etienne, but if it's a duffer, this one. It's a throw to Croatia, near side the left. Highlights of this, by the way, on BBC One at midnight, and tomorrow France-Morocco is live on BBC One, which means you can actually watch and listen through the option of World Cup Extra to the 5 Live commentary through the iPlayer. Here is Perisic to take the throw on this near side the left for Croatia. It's still goalless. It's a long throw. Headed out by Romero in front of his own goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. Messi loses out. Gvardiol is there, high up the pitch for Croatia, the centre-back, then plays it back behind Lovren, and it's going to run through to Livakovic, the goalkeeper, all in luminous orange.
Croatia won't mind that, getting the ball into the box, and it didn't work out, but they do well. Stay brave, stay high, retain possession. When the ball comes out, what Argentina don't have is a large presence up front to hold the ball up, so they can dominate when they are in good positions.
Brozovic has dropped in between the two central defenders. The fullbacks are pushed up quite high for Croatia. Here is Gvardiol, actually sometimes plays as a left-back for his club Leipzig. Sosa, who's playing left-back for his country, wins that 50-50, plays it back to the defender we've just been talking about, and now Brozovic takes over once again, just sitting there in front of the back four. Plays it short and forward to Kovacic. Perisic back then for Gvardiol. Argentina again have every one of those players in the white and sky blue shirts, striped shirts, back behind the ball. Perisic, they're looking of course to reach back-to-back World Cup finals. What an achievement that would be for Croatia. Perisic, patient play by Zlatko Dalic's side. Kovacic gives it to Brozovic, tries to run away from Alvarez. Kovacic helps it, gets it back from Kramovic. They've worked it neatly and now out towards the left-hand side. And Sosa plays it down the line. Perisic sliding in. It was patient play, but they were progressing.
Yeah, well, what you're seeing is that both teams are really good without the ball. They're really well organised and having to work and move around for each other. And Argentina having to do that because of the midfield trio that we've mentioned and how good they are on the ball.
12 minutes played, still 0-0 to a backdrop of Argentinian voices serenading everybody inside the Lusail Stadium. Sosa on this near side the left, will cross right-footed, it was low, strikes the back of the legs of Paredes, and trying to hope that it would roll out for a corner kick, but it didn't have the power. But Croatia have retained the ball. Gvardiol on this near side the left, now to Brozovic. Modric in Basel in March 2006, Croatia-Argentina. Messi scored his first goal as an 18-year-old. Modric made his debut at the age of 20. And here they are, up against each other. Two of the world's greatest players fighting it out for a place in Sunday's World Cup final. Free kick to Argentina that's already been taken. De Paul plays it back. Stroked forward by Otamendi, and now with Romero right to the centre circle, and it's Croatia's turn to drop off as De Paul will play it towards Paredes. Out now towards Fernandes on that far side, the left. Tagliafico is hooking that touchline. Croatia though with the interception, and they now try and play it forward. And looking to break was Juranovic, the right back for Croatia, the Celtic player. They might be able to exploit that gap that is left now, as Lovren has to fill in. This is Fernandes. There was a challenge just outside the area by Gvardiol on Messi. The Italian referee says no free kick.
Well, Messi tries to run in behind. It was a lovely, clever little ball with the outside of the foot, and he thinks he was actually tripped. You can see by his reaction and the way he looked at the referee.
Well, I just don't think he was going to get there. He realised the pass was a bit too strong and just maybe realised and looked for the contact and went down, but that's the first real opening Argentina have had that you're saying, well, Croatia gambled, one man went out of position, they're in on the gap.
Here is Lovren spraying the ball forward, looking to try and get on the end of it was Juranovic, the right back. He'd made a darting run forward and it was headed out of play for a throw, and Croatia get a throw quite high up the pitch, 0-0.
That was a very, very good ball, very long ball from Lovren. That must have travelled all of 50 or 60 yards with a run of Juranovic.
He's one of the players who started every game so far. He's the one who's now going to take the throw over on that right-hand side. We've been playing for a quarter of an hour here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and it is still Argentina 0, Croatia 0. In comes the throw, flicked on by Perisic, headed out by Otamendi. Bouncing ball, downward header by Sosa, bounces away from Kovacic. It'll be picked up by Brozovic just over the halfway line, and Kovacic strokes it back to Gvardiol with his green boots, the protective face mask. And now back with the Leipzig defender, dropping deep. Kramaric Sosa on this near side, the left, doesn't opt to play the ball down the line to Perisic, instead goes back to Brozovic, who curls it across to Lovren, and again the fullbacks are pushed on here for Croatia. Here's one of them, Juranovic, with a little flick ball forward towards Modric, and Modric now will run forward, coming in off that right touch line, using his strength, holding on to the ball. Modric has done well, Juranovic with the cross, and Croatia get a corner.
It's really good play from Croatia, particularly Modric. I mean, we said it pre-programme that sometimes he's the furthest forward. He was on that occasion, did really well, battled really well to get the ball into Juranovic, into that right back position, and they get the corner. They're looking dangerous.
They are, and they've certainly got plenty of aerial threat here for the corner kick, because Lovren is up from the back, Gvardiol is there, Perisic, and now after all that they roll it short. Back towards Modric on the right hand side, it's still taken. Juranovic then on the overlap, delivers the ball towards the far post. Lovren was there, and there's two Argentinian players have gone down with a clash of heads, and there's going to be a stoppage in play.
He was the 10-pin bowling ball, and they were the pins. Just bundled them over in the box. Clash of heads all over. You can imagine he enjoyed that, Lovren.
I know somebody else would have enjoyed it.
You're hinting at there.
Well, they're back on their feet, and they don't seem to be too bad. It was Molina, the right back, and Romero, the other defender, the central defender of Tottenham Hotspur. I think they'll only go down as a spare rather than a strike.
Well, very good. But you're looking at Croatia, and we're not surprised by how good they are on the ball, but it is a bit surprising how comfortable they've been in the game and how much possession they've been allowed in the Argentinian half without being overly threatening, but they still just kept the ball and kept passing it and kept probing.
Can you imagine, Alan, what they'd be like if they still had Mandzukic, a genuine threat?
Yeah, but that's not only them in this tournament in terms of lacking a top-class forward.
Here is Kramaric, the former Leicester player.
Watch him stick one in the top corner in the next 10 minutes.
Stepping out forward there was Paredes, but he's lost the ball. Of Argentina and Croatia have got it back. Now out towards Sosa on this left-hand side. Sosa's cross, the delivery was found wanting. It was high, lacking direction and drifting out of play for a goal kick, and we're still at 0-0.
That's been a common theme for Croatia in this tournament, and dominating possession in that midfield, having so much of the ball, and when they get into those forward positions they just lack that little bit of quality or that threat in the box.
You get the feeling that Argentina have turned around and gone, yeah, we'll go narrow with that four in midfield to let Sosa, the left back, have it, because we know he's not got that quality.
Just moments ago, when there was that aerial clash between Molina and Romero, the two players colliding with each other, when that ball went out for a goal kick, Romero actually just went down onto his haunches as if he was just struggling a fraction. So we'll have to keep an eye on whether there might just be a touch of concussion. He's just rubbing his head now, as well as the Tottenham player Christian Romero, as Argentina now have it over on that far side. Tagliafico to McAllister, able to get into the Croatian half. Still goalless though, 18 minutes play, but Croatia have got it back with Modric. And now looking to make the run forward was Kramaric through the yellow midfield. He goes to ground. The Italian referee will give a free kick. But Kapocic was the player foul, so it's a Croatian free kick outside the centre circle.
Well, it was a free kick, but McAllister was on the ball and looking for options, and because of the sheer number of Croatian players that were around him, he had nowhere to go. Hence Croatia breaking and getting that free kick.
Modric takes it. They're at a walking pace.
Messi's stretching his hamstring.
Oh yes, he is
struggling.
Just feeling the hamstring, feeling the back of his left leg there, Messi. In fact, he's still giving it a little massage as well. So they've got two potential concerns for Lino Scaloni to keep an eye on. As Kramaric, that was the first heavy touch. He's given it away back to Argentina, bearing in mind that Papo Gomez is not available with an ankle injury, and they're missing the suspended Montiel, the reserve right back, and Acuna, who would have actually started as a left back instead of Tagliafico. 20 minutes play, 0-0. On the halfway line, ball goes back now towards Romero. Molina is an option on this near side, the right. Paul tried to make the run into a bit of space vacated by Sosa, but that was Brozovic coming forward, lifts it in the air, brings it under control. Perisic then on the left hand side back towards Sosa. certainly seeing a lot of the ball, the left back on this near side, as Modric being tracked by the hard-working Alvarez of Manchester City, got a standing ovation as that went out of play for his performance off the ball, I think, by the Argentinian fans against the Netherlands in Friday's quarter-final. We haven't had a shot on target yet. It's very, very tight, 0-0.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Messi there when Rob said he's stretching his hamstring off, and sometimes you can look at a player and think, well, he's not moving or he's stretching, but with Messi, he does walk around and he does try and ghost into the game, doesn't he? And all of a sudden he's got that little spring in his step.
Here is Molina. Seems to be okay for the time being. Molina wants to take the throw quickly on this near side, the right, but the referee says you're just creeping a little bit too far downfield, and he wants him back, and he's still not happy. 5 Live and BBC Sounds, the first of the World Cup semi-finals tomorrow night here in Qatar from 6 o'clock with Mark Chapman at the Al Bayt Stadium. France against Morocco. As the ball is touched towards Messi, and off that left foot he pings the ball out into space, and Otamendi can run forward. And now it is with Fernandes. Almost showed a glimpse of the ball to Modric, but they've managed to keep it. Here is Argentina now with Romero just outside the centre circle. Messi's going to come short towards the ball. Molina stayed forward, the right back. He touched it to Messi. Infield, the return ball back towards Messi. Running forward, trying to get it into the path of Fernandes. But Croatia's defence just squeezed in tight, and now the break from Kovacic. He's looking for a foul. The referee says no foul.
Well, he was honestly outdid him there, because if he went down he would have got the foul. He bounced off him 2-3 players. He could have gone down, didn't.
Messi running away from 3 Croatian players with the ball just stuck to his foot. Now with Fernandes. Messi now takes over midway through the Croatia half. McAllister goes down. Cleared away by Guardiola. Only as far as Messi bounces away from him and out for a goal kick. Just signs that there's gaps just starting to appear.
Yeah, just for the last 2 or 3 minutes, for the first time in the game, we've seen Messi picking the ball up and then running those little quick feet of his and trying to find that little 1-2 off Alvarez, and he did that. Nothing come of it this time though, but just the signs that it may be opening up a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost like he's watched it for 20 minutes and gone, right, I've had enough of this, I'm getting involved.
Rob Green and Alan Shearer with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. We're midway through the first half. It's Argentina 0, Croatia 0. And Croatia, in their predominantly navy blue shirts, have a throw on the far side, the right. Modric makes himself available. Messi and Modric have played 26 times in their careers. 22, of course, were El Clasico. But it's Modric who has always had the upper hand. He's won 12, drawn 5. He's tasted defeat on 9 occasions. But here they are for what probably will be their last ever appearance, for the loser, that is, at a World Cup. Here is Modric. Go on.
3rd place, 4th place.
Oh yeah, do you think they're playing that one? That's a meaningless game, is it not? I thought you were doing a version of Ted Rogers 3-2-1 or something.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a meaningless game, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably for a lot of the players it is.
Yeah. But you're right, there is that game on Saturday. Whether they play in it is up for grabs. They'll get the equivalent of, what was it, Dusty Bin. That's where they'll put the 3rd place medal.
I was trying to 3 fingers and 4 fingers, 3rd and 4th, but it didn't work, obviously.
No. I'm just used to the 2. De Paul on this near side. Infield. Paredes. Fernandes looking for the run of Tagliafico around the back. Slides into it in that penalty area. Manages to hook over the cross as well. And Sosa, his opposite number for Croatia, clears it out of play for a throw. Tagliafico did ever so well.
A great run and a very good ball, but again, they only had one person in the box, which was Alvarez. I looked at to where Messi was, and he was 2 or 3 yards outside of the 18-yard box.
Paredes, forward ball. McAllister to Fernandes, who takes over. Fernandes with a shot, forced the save. Livakovic was down towards his left, parried it away to safety. I would have thought, as a goalkeeper, Rob, he'd have seen that quite late.
He did see it late. He scrambled across, and it wasn't a comfortable save. It was just a skip off the surface. And what saved him really was it was a bounce far enough away from him that he could read it. And another yard closer to him on that bounce, and he could have been struggling.
He hit the post late on against the Netherlands. That's probably the best, well, the only effort really in this tight semi-final so far of Argentina 0, Croatia 0. But Livakovic moving away towards his left. The 33-year-old goalkeeper did well. Argentina, though, are back in possession. De Paul outside the centre circle of his own half. Comes over the halfway line, now towards Molina on this near side. Molina goes back towards De Paul. De Paul gives it away. Kneed away by Gvardiol. They try and win it back through Alvarez. Sosa goes in field. Lovren plays a short diagonal ball, and then Brozovic lifts it out towards Juranovic, but it goes over his head. Going to do well to keep the ball in play, but the Celtic defender does exactly that. Down the line it goes. Tagliafico with the interception, stepping out of defence. Now with McAllister for Argentina. De Paul forward of the centre circle. Messi, diagonal ball, loses it. Thought he might have caught Kovacic, but Kovacic has done ever so well. Great strength from Kovacic. Forward ball to Kramaric. Pasalic is going ahead of him, and the referee, as he was fouled, gives a free kick to Croatia.
A superb play from Kovacic, the way he actually won the ball off Messi, sort of shielding away from it. But then he had the ability and the strength to drive another 20 or 30 yards forward, and then play that ball into Kramaric, and he gets the free kick. And there's little Modric there, straight onto it. I think he'll be taking this one.
It's just under 30 yards out from goal. It's right of centre. It's 0-0 here on 5 Live. All the BBC Sounds app. You can take us with you wherever you go through the BBC Sounds app. And Croatia have a free kick. Argentina trying to offer as much protection to Emi Martinez. Have two in the wall with their white and sky blue striped shirts outside the penalty area. Big boys are up from the back. Modric and Sosa, the two long-haired players, are standing over the free kick. It'll be Sosa with his left foot or Modric with his right. Perisic is currently standing in an offside position. Sosa leaves it for Modric. Modric clips it in a rather flat ball, headed away by Paredes. Messi controls it on the edge of his own area, gets caught in possession, but it breaks back, and now the break is on. Molina releases De Paul over the halfway line. Molina's looked to continue his run. The ball, though, is spread high towards Alvarez. And there was Modric. Where does he get his energy from? He takes the free kick. He's the one back in his own penalty area, heading it away as he's gone out of play for a throw.
Well, he needed to, because it was a poor free kick. He realised his error, backtracked.
That play back underway. McAllister to Paredes. Paredes. Now it's with over on that far side. Fernandez and Tagliafico linking up on the left. They play the ball forward, but it goes away from McAllister and out for a goal kick. He is incredible, though, isn't he, Modric?
You've got to remind yourself, 37 he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
And yeah, he was the one that put the poor free kick in. It was really good defending, high defending from Argentina. They held the line. But then for him to run 60 or 70 yards further back and actually win the ball back is incredible.
Best player in Russia as well in 2018. Getting the golden ball is something that he and Messi have also got in common, because Messi, as a runner-up 4 years previously, was also voted player of the tournament. As we're approaching the half hour, we had predicted we could be in for the long haul here tonight, and it remains 0-0 given Croatia's record of going to extra time. Lovren hits it long, headed away by Otamendi for Argentina. Pasalic wins the ball midway through the Argentina half. There's a nice little touch by Modric. Brozovic will run forward. The ball wouldn't necessarily go with him. Had to try and drag it with his right foot. Emi Martinez keeps it in play from going out behind for a corner, but concedes a throw.
He had to get that right. Brozovic was on top of him, and any false move, and as a goalkeeper, sliding out with your feet, it's not something you're used to. That's
Rob Green and Alan Shearer with us here inside the Lusail Stadium. Brozovic running out on that right-hand side down towards the corner flag, tries to lift it back towards Juranovic, gives the ball away. Argentina clear, every Croatia player is in the Argentina half, and Gvardiol, the central defender, plays it forward to Kovacic. Brozovic now knocks it back. Lovren's on the halfway line on the right-hand side and switches play to this near side, the left, where Sosa controls it. Kramaric is floating out on the left-hand side, plays it back. The ball will put Sosa under pressure, and Croatia are forced to go back towards Livakovic. Gvardiol, and a little bit of a press from Argentina, isn't phased. Modric has just got a nutmeg McAllister. Now it's up towards Kramaric, midway through the half. Pasalic goes central. Kovacic joins the attack, threatening this by Croatia. Perisic joins the penalty area, goes for the chip, just over the top for a goal kick. He's pleading for a corner kick.
Yeah, he wants one. He's adamant that actually takes the deflection, and he's screaming at the referee and the assistant to say he wanted that as a corner. He might just be right as well, you know. But how that started with Modric, wasn't it? Just clipping the ball through McAllister's legs on the halfway line. He should have got a corner. Did take a deflection.
They're very easy on the eye, though, aren't they, when they progress down the field like that?
It's really good to see, and really
ball forward towards Alvarez. Alvarez, he's onside. Alvarez nicks it goalwards. Lovren with a clearance. Was there a penalty? Yes, it was. Livakovic shown a yellow card for fouling Alvarez, and Argentina been awarded a penalty.
Well, what a run it was from Alvarez. He finds itself clear, free, which is something that just hasn't happened in the first 32 minutes in this game. It's wide open for him. He's got the goalkeeper to beat. He dinks it over the goalkeeper with not enough pace or power on it, but the goalkeeper wipes him out, and the referee's right on the spot, and in fact then points to the spot. And for me, it was the correct decision.
Yeah, has to give it as soon as Livakovic, who has to commit, does commit. He's got to win the ball. He doesn't. He's running off the back of Lovren, who's dropped so deep compared to the rest of the back four. It just opens up for him. Once he gets that nick, he knows Livakovic, he's not won the ball. It's a clear contact. It's unfortunate for him. There's not a lot he can do, but it's a penalty.
You know as well as I know who's got the ball in his hands on his 25th appearance at a World Cup, equaling the record held by Lothar Matthäus, Lionel Messi, who scored in 8 of his last 9 appearances for Argentina. He's had mixed fortunes from the spot in this World Cup. He missed against Poland, but he scored 2 already against Saudi Arabia and the Netherlands. And Argentina's all-time top goal scorer could see him here become the highest goal scorer at a World Cup as well. He's currently level with 10 with Batistuta. Messi against Livakovic. Livakovic, who saved 4 penalties in the shootouts at this World Cup, all in orange weights on his goal line. Lionel Messi. Emi Martinez at the other end cannot look. He's down on one knee whilst Messi scores, and the roar inside the Lusail Stadium will tell you that Lionel Messi, on his record-equalling 25th appearance in a World Cup, has lashed it in left-footed, and Argentina lead by a goal to 0.
A different technique to what we saw against the Netherlands. We've seen that laid-back approach to when he just tucked it to the goalkeeper's left-hand side. This time it's head down, front of the foot, and he pings it high into the roof of the net. Goalkeeper's got no chance. What a penalty.
Brilliant penalty. Almost Shearer-esque.
You've mentioned me and Messi, I'm happy. That's my nightmare.
Did he run away with his arm in the air?
He ran straight to the fans, that for sure. Great strike. The goalkeeper had no chance.
Well, the interesting thing with that is that he did go the same side as what we saw against the Netherlands, but he went a lot higher. And from that, as a goalkeeper, as soon as you commit to the dive, you can't get up, you can't get high. You're running the risk of it going over the bar, but you get it right. Unstoppable.
Messi has scored now 23 of 28 penalties for Argentina. It's his 11th goal in his 25th appearance at a World Cup. And Argentina are ahead, and Croatia at this World Cup are in familiar territory because yet again their opponents have scored first. But if we've learnt one thing about Croatia, you just do not write them off, because they have resolve, they have the character, they have the spirit, but once again they're going to have to show all of those qualities.
Absolutely. And you look at them and you say, well, what are they going to do different to get back into the game? Nothing. They'll do exactly the same as what they've been doing, just keep plugging away.
But wherever you look around this Lusail Stadium, there are Argentinian fans everywhere, and whatever they've got in their hand that is sky blue or white, they're waving above their head, whether it be a scarf, a flag, or indeed a balloon. They're 1-0 up, and Croatia, with 9 minutes to go at a half-time here on BBC Radio 5 Live, have got to come from behind. Brozovic to Sosa, trying to get it down the line, looking to Perisic. Out it goes for a throw.
Very unlike them to leave themselves so open at the back, and then Alvarez to 1v1v Livakovic, because there's been none of that in the first half up until then. No space whatsoever for any forward.
It just looked like that Lovren panicked. He saw the ball over the top, he saw the run of the man, and he dropped. He dropped so deep.
Did say as well in the build-up to that Livakovic had got the yellow card as Messi tries to take it, but he won't get the pace away from Sosa. But also in the fallout, the Chelsea midfielder Kovacic was also shown a yellow card. So the two of them have been booked for Croatia. Of course, the yellow cards were white. The only reason you could miss Sunday's final for whoever progresses, or indeed the third place playoff, is if you are sent off in this game. The first semi-final, second one tomorrow we'll have for you as well on BBC Radio 5 Live. The build-up from 6 o'clock as Kramaric looking to try and get the ball out towards this near side. It's nodded back by Perisic. It's played out towards Sosa on the left. Sosa now with a right-footed cross, headed away by Paredes. Comes back in though towards Kovacic to Brozovic, tackled by Paredes, won back though by Modric. Lovren joins the attack, out it goes to Juranovic, looking to silence the Argentinian fans, charge down the cross. It's a corner kick to Croatia as they trail by a goal to nil.
It's good possession again for Croatia. I'm just thinking that the two wide options are the fullbacks, and they're just not high enough. They're crossing from too deep, which allows Argentina the ability to deal with it.
Corner kick to Croatia. 7 minutes to go at a half-time. Arms being punched in the air from the Argentinian supporters. They're not necessarily mimicking Alan Shearer's goal celebration. That only happens at St James's Park. Corner taken short on the right. Cross charged down. Premier League is back on Boxing Day. We'll have all the domestic coverage for you on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. As Alvarez is breaking, Molina's going ahead of him. Alvarez is still going into the penalty area, and Alvarez has increased Argentina's lead with a surging, strong run. It bounced back to him, and right-footed, he poked it in, and Argentina now have a cushion. They lead Croatia by 2 goals to 0, and what a run that was from the Manchester City player.
He ran from the halfway line. Messi managed to get the ball to him. There were 2 or 3 defenders ahead of him. Not one of them could get the contact on the ball that he wanted, and the ball fell for him not once but twice, and then he's left with a goalkeeper 1v1 and he clips it over him. What a run and what a finish.
Brilliant determination, just kept going, and you realise they were flooding forward. There was 4 or 5 into the attack. He didn't need them, just bundled his way through the tackles. And from there, it's a cool finish, sat up nicely for him. Feel Croatia have got a mountain to climb now. Just looking around, clapping each other, trying to drive each other on, looking a little bit flat, a little bit dejected.
He was like Forrest Gump. Just run, Forrest, run.
He kept on, that's exactly what he did. He kept on running and he was waiting for the tackle. They couldn't quite get the tackle they wanted and it fell for him twice. Couldn't believe it. For the first 39 minutes of this game, there's been no space, and twice in the last 4 or 5, Croatia wide open at the back and they've been punished.
The Argentina support now in the end behind the goal towards our left are just bouncing, because now I'll tell you what Zlatko Dalic should do. He should just go long now, because when they've been in this position against Australia and the Netherlands, their opponents have left it late and then they've gone route one, and Argentina on both occasions have had frantic finales. They were able to hang on against Australia, but the Netherlands through Wout Weghorst got it back from 2-0 down to 2-2, extra time and penalties. If Croatia now, as Messi comes forward, clipping the ball out towards the far side, here is Fernandez on the left hand side. Argentina are looking to try and finish it. This is McAllister. De Paul shoots, takes a deflection, runs wide behind for a corner kick. 2-0 Argentina.
I think it's fair to say there's nothing the matter with Messi's hamstring.
They're all over him now, aren't they? They're swarming all over Croatia. And you said about going long, Deno. They just got to stay in the game now. They've got 4 minutes to see this through to half-time, because this could go very, very ugly, very, very quickly.
They were appealing for a handball, but I don't think it struck anywhere near a hand from the shot from De Paul. The Italian referee, I mean, it will get checked as a matter of course through VAR. But Argentina are leading Croatia by 2-0. And Argentina have a corner on that far side, the left. The referee's just calling someone towards him. Now he gives permission for the corner kick to be taken on that far side. A wall of noise inside the Lusail Stadium. If you're not bouncing up and down, you're not Argentinian. In comes the corner, the header. Oh, what a save from Livakovic! What a reflex save. Smalia down towards his left. It might have... Was it... I'm trying to think who got the touch there.
McAllister, was it?
McAllister? What a save.
Brilliant reactions. Just kept them in the competition. Downward header into the ground. That's just reactions, and you get a touch and you just hope for your life you've got enough on it. Boy, did he. He had to. That would have been curtains.
Certainly would. Corner kick, downward header, and a reflex save smartly away to his left with a one-handed save. Corner kicker again to Argentina, leading by 2-0. We're close to half-time here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And Argentina are certainly well set for a place in Sunday's final. Messi to take the corner, left-footed, it's an in-swinger, an awkward one for Livakovic to deal with all in orange, to punch the ball away under pressure. And Croatia are firmly on the back foot.
Well, looking really good at the back for the vast majority of this first half. The last 4 or 5 minutes, they've looked all over the place. Conceded 2, very, very nearly 3 there. Rob's right, they've just got to get through to half-time and keep it at 2. Then regroup.
Molina with the throw, stabs it forward, Messi gives it back, very, very tight, but they've worked it away. Then Molina is actually caught in possession, and then he still manages to get a foot into the challenge to take it away from Kovacic. It's a Croatian throw.
Just think now, kill the game, take your time over the throw-in, enjoy the bit of ball that you can, enjoy the possession, enjoy just being in the Argentina half, because you need that breather. You've got 80 seconds to see it through.
Argentina 2, Croatia 0. 60 seconds of normal time in this first half remaining. And Croatia have not now scored first in any of their last 10 World Cup games since the group stages against Iceland in 2018. They're going to have to draw on all of their experience in tournament football at World Cups, but they're going to have to do it the hard way here. 2-0 down. Gvardiol under a little bit of pressure from De Paul, has to go all the way back towards Livakovic.
Every pass from Croatia is a backward pass at the minute. It's all under pressure. Argentina have got the tails up, they're chasing everything.
Croatia now with Kovacic in the centre circle. Out to Sosa on this near side, the left. Sosa plays it back towards Kovacic. Plays it in low. Kramaric with a layoff. Back towards Kramaric. Goes square. Modric with a shot. Blocked. Comes back to Modric. Plays it out to Juranovic. Right hand side. Juranovic beaten out of the near post and tried to lift it forward with Pachulic. Flag was up anyway. But that was still a good save by Emi Martinez, because Juranovic really did hit it low, drilled it in towards his near post.
It just takes a deflection, doesn't it, off Tagliafico. Then the keeper has to get down to his left-hand side. But that for me sort of sums Croatia up in this first half. Had a lot of the ball, dominated in the midfield, plenty of nice little passes, but they've had no threat whatsoever, nothing on target.
They've not thrown a punch, have they?
No.
Well, of the last 21 times when a team has scored the opening goal in a World Cup knockout match, only 4 have failed to win. Russia in the quarter-final in 2018, England in the semi-final, and Japan and Brazil this time. The connection is that all have lost to Croatia. But Croatia here are 2-0 down in this semi-final, and we have 4 minutes of additional time on 5 Live. Argentina have an eye on Sunday's final, back here in the Lusail Stadium. Will it be against France or Morocco? It's live on BBC One tomorrow. It's live on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and like this game, also on the World Service across Africa.
You just wonder, with the game as it is at 2-0 and the history that they have in recent games for Argentina, whether they'd be that comfortable 2-0 up.
Yeah. Next goal is absolutely vital. Here is Molina, the attack-minded right back for Argentina. Plays it back to De Paul. Kovacic tries to get there first. Messi though now takes over, nicks it back towards De Paul. Getting into the challenge was Perisic, strikes Messi. Messi working ever so hard, holding off Perisic, and now Messi just runs in field. And listen to the ovation, from an inspiration to a whole country and an icon across the footballing world. Played forward to Alvarez. Alvarez will win a throw. 2-0 Argentina.
He's been brilliant, Alvarez. He's been the threat. He's the one that's running behind. He's the one that's making it really uncomfortable now for those Croatian defenders. We talk about Messi, but the way he's played in this first half with his goal and also in getting the penalty, it's been superb.
He's got the work rate, he's got the pace, and he's certainly got the goal threat that was evident with that second goal. 2-0 to Argentina. Kramaric runs away from De Paul. Kramaric 25 yards out, left corner of the penalty area. Perisic has been quite quiet by his standards, curls over a left-footed cross, drifts out of play. No danger at all.
That sums them up. It's a decent position to be in. Perisic finds himself 1v1. He tries to move the ball out of that left foot and try and whip it in. He actually puts it behind the goal. Wasn't much of a threat in there anyway.
Just looking at the subs, the options. Petkovic, is he going to be the Wout Weghorst of Croatia?
Well, it was his goal, wasn't it, that got the equaliser with their only shot on target against Brazil in the 117th minute. The trouble tonight is that Croatia need 2 goals. And Lionel Messi, with his first, has moved level with Kylian Mbappe on 5 in the race for the Golden Boot. He might get the Golden Ball, get the Golden Boot, but the one trophy that he wants the most is the World Cup itself, especially after missing out in 2014.
I had an hour with Lothar Matthäus last night, and he wasn't best pleased that Messi was about to equal his record and then go on and break it, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, of course, as you now have pointed out, he could break it regardless, couldn't he? As here he is once more. Did you know that Lothar Matthäus is 24% English?
Is that right?
That's right.
Where on earth have you got that from?
I bumped into him the other night.
Oh, right, okay.
What I didn't realise when I bumped into him is that little fact that was actually handed to him, awarded to him by Kelly Cates.
Oh, well.
Who's 11% English, despite her claims that she's Scottish. Anyway, the half-time whistle has sounded, and Argentina are leading by 2-0. A Messi penalty and then a surging run by Alvarez. Messi with the first after 33, Alvarez made it 2 6 minutes later, and McAllister almost made it 3. So here is the 11% English Kelly case. Alan Shearer and Rob Green, two former England internationals who are with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight. We're also across Africa on the World Service, and Argentina are on course for Sunday's final here in Lusail against either France or Morocco. Live on BBC One tomorrow, but also 5 Live commentary will be available through World Cup Extra on the iPlayer. McAllister sent away on the left-hand side, level with the area 3 minutes after the restart. Plays it inside, Messi takes it on his right foot. Challenge comes in from Kovacic. Tries to win it back, does Messi, as they hound Brozovic, and they have got it through McAllister. McAllister then goes down outside the D. De Paul holds on to it, plays a reverse ball. Paredes with the shot, and it's saved by the goalkeeper Livakovic. There is a clear desire from Argentina not to allow Croatia back into this game as they have in the previous 2 knockout ties.
Well, in Croatia having to come out that little bit more, that should suit Argentina with the players that they have, with the pace they have up front, with McAllister bursting down the left-hand side there. And in fact, he's still down in the middle of the park, I think it is, because he was looking for a free kick when he was dribbling that ball across the 18-yard box. But it should suit Argentina the way Croatia have to open up.
Just wonder if we haven't seen our shot on target yet, so there's not a lot to back this up with. If Croatia do nick a goal, it's been a real party atmosphere in here tonight. That will change.
Yes, it will. We've already seen that against Australia. Certainly, I witnessed it firsthand on Friday here inside this stadium against the Netherlands. But at the minute, those who are decked out in the red and white checkered shirts away towards our right-hand side are silent at the moment. But Bruno Petkovic is going to be coming on, and he is going to be replacing Brozovic. So another clear sign, with a striker coming on for a midfielder, that Petkovic, who got that 117th minute equaliser against Brazil, his 5th appearance, 4 of them have been off the bench so far in this World Cup. The player from Dinamo Zagreb goes up front, and Croatia might have to start going a little bit more direct as they trail by 2-0. That change being made just 5 minutes into this second half. So, Kovacic out to Juranovic on this near side. He rolls it in towards Petkovic, looking towards Kramaric, cleared then by Molina, the right back. Quite narrow, that back four there for Argentina. Guardiola has it. He's had such an excellent tournament, the young central defender. Here is Kovacic coming forward towards Modric. What can Modric do, this midfield maestro? As the ball is played out towards the left-hand side, Perisic goes ahead of him, looking to try and link up with Orsic. Here is Petkovic, lays it off. Modric in the 50-50, loses out, and the break is on. And it's with Fernandes who will run forward. Fernandes in the end, it just loses out there to Vlasic, who tracked his run. So much urgency now from Croatia. They've got nothing else but to give it a go. Trailing by 2-0. Vlasic, Modric in close attendance. Here he is, left-footed, high ball out towards that far side. Headed back by Kramaric. Ball inside now to Kovacic. Forward, Petkovic couldn't turn. Challenge from Otamendi, and Argentina win the ball back.
He's got to do better than that. It's a simple ball into his feet. He's got to keep that ball and bring players into the game.
Ball is rolled out, wouldn't quite reach Petkovic. It was the interception from I think it was Paredes there for Argentina. Been won back by Croatia. Here is Modric, Kovacic. Forward ball, Petkovic trying to roll away from his man. Kovacic looking towards the run of Orsic in the midfield. Croatia now with a cross. Vlasic's ball takes a deflection, caught by the keeper.
Already they're asking more questions of that back four of Argentina. There's more movement in there, there's more bodies in there, trying to get the little give and goes in there. So yeah, they've gambled, which is what they had to do.
Did you not think Kovacic shoot there? He's got the ball on the edge of the box.
Shouldn't need an invite, should he?
2-0 to Argentina. Headed away by Perisic, now playing as a left back. Argentina, 8 minutes into this second half, a little bit of a stumble, but Kovacic kept his balance, then gets the ball back. Challenge from De Paul, he was fouled, says the Italian referee Daniel Orsato, and it will be a free kick to Croatia inside their own half.
It's going to be really interesting to watch Modric and Kovacic in there together now, because they can just bounce balls off each other all evening really, and as I say, that Modric gives it away for the first time in the night.
Throw on that far side, all about game management now from an Argentina point of view.
Yeah, absolutely, that's what they've got to do. They know that there's going to be spaces up front when they win it back. They might be content to let Croatia have that in the hope that they can hit them on the break, which of course they'll be able to do that.
Here is Modric. Back inside with Orsic. Juranovic on this right-hand side. He was quickly closed down by Tagliafico. Lovren inside the Argentina half. Juranovic plays a diagonal ball. Petkovic, who's a big lump of a striker, is about 6'4", quite cumbersome. Certainly it's been 2 or 3 heavy touches since he's come on, as he now makes his way up front, and the ball is switched by Lovren out towards that far side, but it's well over the head of Perisic.
He speaks highly of you, Deno.
You'd probably say I'm a big lump, but I'm about 6'2".
Probably say a lot worse than that.
Cumbersome wasn't the word I was
I'm not asking you, by the way. In fact, I'm not asking you either. In fact, I look across the commentary box and I'm not asking anybody. Here is Modric. 10 minutes into the second half here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And still, the Argentinian supporters are bouncing up and down. Vlasic. Easily. Well handled by Otamendi. It'll be an Argentina throw. Vlasic, who's on loan at Torino from West Ham United, struggled at West Ham, never really happened for him either at Everton. And in fact, even with Mislav Orsic, and whilst he's done well for Dinamo Zagreb this season, he has not been able to translate that onto the international stage. So they don't really have the players of pedigree who are proven at this level to trouble Argentina. Mind you, people in Bern will be saying about Weghorst and his 2 goals in that quarter-final. But they are 2-0 down, and Croatia seeing a lot of the ball up towards Vlasic. Tries to get it into Petkovic, but brought away by McAllister. Hits it over the top. Alvarez now one-on-one against Lovren. Alvarez enters the penalty area. He looks for the run of Fernandez, and Croatia have done just enough, but it's won back by Lionel Messi. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Now he waits for those white and sky blue striped shirts to get forward, and Croatia are pinned back as they trail by 2-0. Fernandez inside to McAllister, rolls it into a central area. Paredes goes out wide to the Argentinian right. De Paul is there. Molina's ahead of him, just in from that right touch line. Molina will run forward, and he continues to go as he wraps in a low cross, but it's dealt with by Guardiola, and they should play their way out of this, but they're under pressure still. And there is McAllister, and Juranovic eventually will get it away, but he's overhit that, and stepping forward was Otamendi, and Argentina have it once more with Fernandez.
I thought he should have shot earlier. Wonderful ball over the top for Alvarez to run onto, and he put it into Fernandez's path, but he chose to take a touch instead of having a pop at goal.
That ball, out ball for Alvarez against Lovren. That is the ball for Argentina.
Argentina with Messi, central position. Lovely close control with his left foot, turns on the edge of the area, flick inside, Fernandez back towards Messi. Messi gets the shot away, left-footed. beaten out by Livakovic. That would have been an exceptional goal.
Great skill from him again. The way he caresses the ball, he takes it away from Guardiola and then gets it lit back, and then the touch onto goal. He just couldn't get it across the goalkeeper. Goes straight at him instead of across him. Brilliant play to get in there in the first place, though.
Croatia coming forward now. Argentina are going to be looking to try and make a change. The shot from the edge of the area is charged down. That was from Orsic. Spins out towards Juranovic. Modric now takes over. Vlasic, right corner of the area. Clips it in. Petkovic brings it under control. Couldn't turn. They get it away as far as Kramaric with his back heel to Kovacic. Knocking on the door. Perisic lets it run through. Orsic with the cross. Headed out by Otamendi. Picked up by Kovacic. You're thinking from a neutral, if Croatia can reduce the arrears, we could have a real humdinger for the next half an hour.
It would certainly test their nerves from Argentina, having what happened in their last game. Without a doubt, it could be on the mind if Croatia were to get that one goal.
Lisandro Martinez of Manchester United waits to come on down below. Argentina are going to be making a change.
It's just interesting to see their reaction now that Croatia are playing with the two up front. He suggests that they go to a back three, give them the overload, give them that bit of comfort, that security blanket back there.
I think for the first time tonight we can hear Croatian voices. They're encouraged as they look to see their side get a goal back as they trail by 2-0. Argentina clear, and then Messi comes in off that right touchline on that far side, playing from right to left. Paredes comes forward, laid off by Fernandez. Messi tried to play it forward first time. Lovren, though, closed him down, and then McAllister has turned. But Messi, he's 35 years of age. He's not going to get on the end of that one.
No, he just had a look to his left-hand side and thought Messi was going to run in, and Messi thought otherwise and stopped.
Kramaric comes towards the halfway line. Now to Perisic on that far side. Kovacic on the halfway line. Modric, still deep, invites Guardiola to come forward, and the central defender carries the ball midway through the Argentina half, but is bundled off by Alvarez. That's the work off the ball that Alvarez has also provided tonight.
Been magnificent. Don't have to do his shift for the team defensively as well, the way he puts defenders or midfielders under pressure. He does a lot of Messi's running, when Messi's walking around, he's the one that is actually hurrying and hassling midfielders and defenders to force them into that error.
Argentina have scored first in all 6 ties at this World Cup. When they squandered the 2-goal lead against the Netherlands, it was the first time that they'd actually failed to win. Tells you everything about their pedigree as they're looking to reach a 6th World Cup final. And their supporters know that as every minute ticks by, they're a step closer to being back here in the Lusail Stadium, in the city of Lusail, 9 miles north of Doha. The World Cup final coverage begins at midday ahead of the 3 o'clock on Sunday. We've got the second semi tomorrow on 5 Live. We've got Thursday night, the Scottish Premiership, Rangers Hibs from 8. And then next week, 4th round League Cup action. Tuesday, MK Dons, Old Trafford Wednesday, and the Etihad on Thursday, and the Premier League back on 5 Live on Boxing Day. 5 Live and BBC Sounds for your live football, and the fact that Paredes is the one who's coming off for Lisandro Martinez would suggest, Rob, that is exactly what they're going to do, what you'd suggested.
Yep, 3 at the back and then the 2 in midfield. They'll be sat there, they'll just drop a bit narrow, a bit tighter. Alvarez probably, I'd imagine, dropping back in again and harrying and working around the midfield as well for that extra body.
62 minutes played. Croatia have a free kick, far side the left. Modric to take it, lifts it in, right-footed. Lovren with a downward header, pushed out by the goalkeeper, and then cleared away. Lovren just couldn't direct it goalwards enough.
Good ball in from Modric from that left-hand side. Puts it right on top of the defenders and the goalkeeper. And they've all got decisions to make. Lovren just couldn't get that head away, could he?
And Martinez, the Aston Villa keeper, pushed it away with both hands. McAllister to Lisandro Martinez. Fernandez back with Lisandro Martinez once again. Tagliafico now as the left wing back, Molina as the right wing back, with that change being made by Lionel Scaloni, the former West Ham defender. 17 appearances he made in 2006 as Tagliafico looks to link up with Alvarez. Here he is on this near side, the left, and Alvarez with a crossfield pass towards Molina, headed forward to Messi on that far side, and Perisic just leans into him, and out of play it goes for a throw.
He's a really intelligent player, Alvarez. The way he finds that space, the way he just caressed that ball when it was sort of fizzed into him with pace. Really intelligent.
Juranovic darts forward from right back for Croatia, but the challenge from Tagliafico, and the loose ball now picked up by McAllister over the halfway line. McAllister goes short and square, then gets the return ball back. He's being held back by Juranovic, and it will be a free kick to Argentina. Rob?
Yeah, you get the feeling now the game is poised as such that it's one good pass away from either being on a cliffhanger or over. And you're just looking at the way that Croatia are pressing. Can they find that bit of quality into the box? Argentina, can they exploit the gaps? It's one pass, that's all it is.
Croatia, who are competing in their third semi-final in the sixth World Cup, 98 and 2018, as England fans know only too well, but here trailing by 2 goals to 0. First half goals from a Messi penalty and Alvarez, and that is the task that faces Croatia as we are approaching the midway point of this second half, under a half moon in Lusail in Qatar. Fernandez, back it goes. Romero on that far side, plays it short and forward. Messi, delight by Messi. Plays it now inside to Fernandez. Messi wants the return ball, but it's gone to Vlasic for Croatia. Free kick in favour of him. Some of his touches tonight have just been a delight.
Sublime, aren't they? Just the way he protects the ball, and where his ability to run with it, those little quick short steps, it's incredible.
He should have been booked there though. Pulling back, holding back clearly.
The Spanish referee Antonio Mathieu Lahoz, who was taking charge of Friday, didn't want to book him. Should have booked him for a clear handball, didn't. Eventually had to show him a yellow card in the end. Kramaric shields the ball on the edge of the area. Croatia still have the ball, but they're forced away from the penalty box, away towards our right hand side. Tagliafico gets the challenge in, and the break is on for Argentina, and it's Alvarez. Tagliafico streaking ahead of him. Instead he crosses the ball out towards DePaul, right hand side. Messi's loitering on the edge of the area. Molina's joining the over-attack. DePaul clips over the cross. Messi, despite his diminutive figure, losing out in that aerial duel with Lovren, and Modric will try and bring it away. And there's a foul on Modric, and there's a wave of the hand from Lionel Scaloni. He disagrees with that decision. Free kick to Croatia. Alan Shearer.
That's magnificent again, though, from Alvarez. He's the one that puts the ball onto from the left to the right hand side. Then they lose the ball. Then it's him that's tracking back, and he's got no option but to foul Modric. I mean, it's a really clever foul, but for him to get back there anyway just sums up his attitude.
This is Kovacic to Modric. Central position midway through the Argentina half. Kovacic tries to drive forward. Fernandez tracks him. Out it goes to Perisic, far side the left. Perisic back to Kovacic once again. Running in field now is Orsic, looking to link up with Petkovic, and that was a foul, and Argentina's defence stands firm.
It's all in front of Argentina from Croatia. It's all into feet. There's no running in behind. There's no people, no defenders having to turn their heads. They're not asking any different questions. They've still not had a shot on target.
No. And time is slowly but surely ticking away from them. Third meeting in the World Cup, first in the knockout stages. But Argentina, who've never been eliminated at a semi-final stage before, They've won all 4, and they're leading by 2-0. Alvarez holding up the ball ever so well, on his lonesome, battling away. Kovacic, he's impressed you tonight, hasn't he?
I really don't like praising anyone for hard work, but this guy's taking it to a new level. He's actually doing so much of Messi's running as well in terms of the closing down, which is fine because when Messi gets the ball, he's a threat and a real threat. But the running off the ball that this guy is doing is incredible. It really is.
Christian Romero of Tottenham Hotspur has just been shown a yellow card for coming into the back of Petkovic. He is the first of the Argentinian players to be shown a yellow. We had 2 in the first half for Livakovic and Kovacic for Croatia. Still 2-0, and we're midway through the second half here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Kramaric loses the ball on the left-hand side. Argentina get a throw. You'd have to set, mind you, we're saying this against the Netherlands on Friday, but you can't see at the minute Croatia troubling Argentina on the balance of play that we've seen so far.
No, well, the best chance that they've had was from the free kick from Modric into Lovren, and he just didn't bounce for him, and that's it. Really, there's not been a moment where the heart's in Argentina's mouth.
Messi running forward for Argentina, twisting and turning and finding his way into the penalty area, and with a cutback to Alvarez. But it was all about Lionel Messi. That was just wonderful. He was at his mercurial best, and Alvarez took the ball in. There's no way back for Croatia. Argentina's World Cup dream is still alive. They lead Croatia 3-0.
Absolutely sensational from Lionel Messi. We talked about his ability to run with the ball, to go past defenders. He stops the defender, he goes past him. He then stops him again to invite him back in for a tackle. He goes past him again. Then he's got the ability to pick his head up in such a tight situation, and the understanding and the relationship that he has with Alvarez. He looks up, he picks him up. Thank you very much, have a tap in. For all your work you've done, you deserve that. What a goal!
50 yard run just down the wing, driving in, just the strength, and then the ability, and then the party that has started here in the Lusail.
And I can imagine that it started back home in Argentina. Close your eyes and you can be forgiven, and you're thinking in Buenos Aires. They will be going mad back home, because Lionel Messi, with that assist, has equalled Diego Maradona's record of 8 assists at a World Cup. We are witnessing one of the greatest players in the world, and he now is going to be gracing Sunday's World Cup final.
I'm lost for words, because so many times you see different players get into that situation, not have the ability to get there and pick the head up and pick the pass, hit the front man or hit the goalkeeper, but he knows the defender can't touch him, so he goes past him not once but actually twice. But then to have the ability and skill to pick his head up and say, there you go, for all your work, for all your effort that you've done for me and done for this team, have it on a plate. And he sticks it away superbly well.
Just brilliant. And Argentina 3-0 with 19 minutes remaining. Croatia are going to have to produce something extra special that only 2 nations have ever done before in the history of the World Cup, and they have very little time in order to do it. And Lionel Scaloni, who has resurrected the Argentinian fortune since he took charge in 2018. He produced their first major trophy in 28 years when he won the Copa America in 2021. And now sees his side lead by 3-0. And Kramaric is coming off. Croatia are making a change. And Marco Livaya is going to be coming on. He scored against Canada. He's a forward, it's like for like. And also there's going to be a change as well with Ezequiel Palacios, midfielder for Bayer Leverkusen. He's going to be coming on for Argentina. It's his third appearance at this World Cup. They've all been off the bench. In fact, they're going to wait for the Croatia free kick before that change happens, as Perisic goes from long range. Must have been a good 35 yards out. He hit it true enough, left-footed, but it was comfortably saved by Emi Martinez. Rob?
Yeah, backed himself, the goalkeeper. He only put 2 men in the wall and said, go on, it's going to have to be something special. He's been stood watching and waiting for the best part of the game for a shot. Finally gets one.
Not only are they just jumping up and down, they're bobbing from side to side in every row in this stadium that holds over 88,000 people. If you're wearing a blue and white striped shirt, then you're not standing still. And now here comes the change with Palacios.
Wouldn't surprise me if he took one of the forwards off, you know.
Number 10.
9 or 10.
Well, it's going to be a double change.
No,
actually,
we're wrong.
looking at it. It's going to be the first player to come off is De Paul. He had been a fitness doubt going into the quarter-final against the Netherlands. He is such a key player. He's industrious, he's creative. So Rodrigo De Paul of Atletico Madrid will come off. He'll be replaced there by Palacios, like for like in the midfield. And then the other player who's going to be coming on is Dybala for his first outing at this World Cup. And it's Alvarez who's gone off. And just as he did against the Netherlands, a lovely ovation for Alvarez. There will be no World Cup hat-trick in this semi-final, but what an influence he has made on this game.
2 goals and got the penalty for Messi. It really has been such an impressive performance for him, not only in this game but in the others as well, to help to get Argentina where they're about to go, which is the World Cup final. He has more than played his part.
He's the perfect foil, isn't he? Just saying, he brings everything that, as wonderful as Messi is, he brings the other side of it. They work so well together.
Listen to the noise inside the Lusail Stadium. They are dreaming. Generations of supporters of a third World Cup triumph. They've had to wait 36 years as a long-range effort flashed in from distance again by Perisic. They reached the final in 2014. But this time, they do believe. Building on the success of the Copa America that ironically was achieved in the Maracanã in 2021. 88,966 full capacity inside the Lusail Stadium. Certainly over 2/3 of them are from South America. And they'll be hanging around in the souk and other parts of Qatar for just a few more days as Emi Martinez goes long and we have 14 minutes remaining. The question is, who will they face in Sunday's final? Messi with a little layoff, nicked into the path of McAllister, played back to Fernandes. Tagliafico on the overlap was Palacios, not required. Instead they switch it to the right. In fact, this defeat is actually Croatia's record World Cup defeat, because previously they'd lost 3-1 to Brazil and Mexico in 2014.
You have to say that you're looking at the Argentinian back line and you wouldn't say anyone's been outstanding in there. They've done fine, but they just haven't been tested.
They haven't had to be, have they, Rob? Not really had to do a lot of defending. No balls into the box with real quality. No balls up to the forwards with any quality, and they've looked comfortable all evening.
That's Alan Shearer and Rob Green who are with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. I think the atmosphere might sound a little different next Tuesday at Stadium MK when we return to domestic duties, and we're bringing you the first of 3 successive nights of League Cup action. It seemed a little hollow in comparison to 50,000 Argentinians singing here with 12 minutes remaining.
Might be a bit colder.
Can't believe you're not going to Newcastle.
Have a word with the editor. Have you noticed I deflect the blame? Given away by Argentina. Perisic will just about keep that ball in play on the far side. We will be at Newcastle though on New Year's Eve as Croatia have a shot from distance and it drifts away from Orsic. So if you are listening to 5 Live for the first time during our World Cup coverage and you haven't yet sampled our domestic coverage, then New Year's Eve, Newcastle United against Leeds United with the usual goal service. We will be at St James's Park. Question is, where will you be?
I'll be in the Match of the Day studio covering it also.
And Alan will be part of Match of the Day's live programme tomorrow night, France against Morocco, live on BBC One. And our coverage on 5 Live with Mark Chapman from 6 at the Al Bayt Stadium, France against Morocco. And then on Sunday, our World Cup final coverage begins at midday. And even with 11 minutes of normal time remaining, with a scoreline of 3-0, you can say with real certainty that Argentina will be awaiting the winners of that game tomorrow night. Alvarez with 2 goals, Messi with the first, as Guardiola at the back plays it towards Lovren. And Croatia's hopes of becoming the 4th European nation to reach consecutive finals falling short. They won't be able to match the run of Italy, the Dutch and Germany, who are the last side to do it. As here is Modric.
Can't believe you doubted it after 25 minutes when you said we always get goals or a show when I've been on. Yeah. You doubted it, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I was saying that with certainty. Here is Modric when he came back and rebounded off him and hit him in the face. From the challenge that was closed down by McAllister after 2 epic nights at Anfield. By the way, I know the Liverpool fans still go on about that Barcelona game. 10 minutes remaining though, and there's going to be no dramatic comebacks on this occasion for Croatia. Colin Murray follows at 10 o'clock. We'll dissect it, of course. And don't forget the World Cup Daily podcast. I think it's day 24 today since we've been out in Qatar, available through BBC Sounds. 10 minutes remaining. And this is, I would imagine, where Argentina are thinking, right, the game's safe, let's conserve some energy.
Why is Messi still on the pitch? You know, he's been terrific tonight. Yeah. Do you need him for the final? Yeah. Are you in the final? Yeah. Get him off the pitch. Don't know what he's doing on there.
There's no chance he's coming off.
Lothar Matthäus will know that he'll be breaking his record in the World Cup final. With his 26th appearance at a World Cup, he will stand alone, and he will want to stand alone when he lifts the trophy, because that's what he'll be dreaming about. And Modric now is being replaced, and we said before that Messi and Modric in their previous 26 meetings, it was Modric who had the upper hand. But as far as Lionel Messi is concerned, tonight is the perfect 10, with his 10th success out of meeting 27.
And Scaloni's just looked over to Messi, you know. He just asked him, what do you want to do? I wasn't sure of the reaction, whether he said, no, I'm happy on here or I'm coming off, but he definitely asked him.
Well, bearing in mind in the first half, we were thinking that maybe he'd tweaked a hamstring on his left leg, but 8 minutes remain. Argentina 3-0 up. And they are a side going into that final really in form. They'll have lost only one of their last 42. And that was against Saudi Arabia, when Saudi Arabia, pulling off that shock, ended their 36-match undefeated run.
Seems a long time ago now, doesn't it, that?
But bearing in mind, in that second group game, they then, going into that match against Mexico, were under real pressure. Came through it, winning it by 2-0. Scored first in every game, and they're heading through to a sixth final. The ball is lifted forward, and there was a chance there for a fourth goal, and it was McAllister right-footed, 12 yards out, who volleyed it right-footed wide.
They take the quick free kick, don't they? Get a little look with the deflection, and then it falls to him very kindly there. He's watching the ball come right across him to hit it with the front of his right foot. He goes about 2 foot wide.
They've gone now, Croatia, haven't they? The game's gone. They've gone. They didn't react to that at all. They just stood and watched, and I think McAllister could have had more time than he thought. He went for the volley.
Ball played forward, nicked away out of the path of Perisic on that far side, and it will be a throw to Croatia level, the penalty area on the left, 7 minutes remaining. This is Maya, couldn't get into the path of Kovacic. Messi over the halfway line, laid back towards Messi, plays it forward. Now it's with Molina on that right hand side, and unable to make the run into the penalty box was Dybala, and Croatia can bring it away. So 6 World Cup finals for Argentina. It's a record only bettered by Germany with 8. As Croatia looking for a consolation, Lisandro Martinez steps forward and wins it with a biting challenge. Messi was probably coming back from an offside position. The move breaks down. 6 minutes remaining. Argentina, though, 3 goals to the good.
And looking very comfortable, managing the game really well. Messi's playing give and go football. He's not really exerting himself anymore, getting it, passing it straight to someone else, using himself as a bit of a wall, protecting himself and looking after himself also.
3 goals tonight. By my calculations, that takes it to 161 for the tournament overall. As a cross comes in from the left, and then 2 headers see it behind for a corner kick to prevent it reaching Vlasic. So they're actually, for this tournament, they're 10 away from the overall highest, which was 171 in 98 and Brazil in 2014. Croatia still looking for a consolation. Argentina are looking to make a double change down below, giving a little bit of a run out. Juan Foyth, the former Tottenham player, will be getting his first appearance of this World Cup. The corner flicked on, and at the far post, Lovren couldn't latch onto the end of it.
Really good execution, just inches away. Sums up their efforts tonight. Close at times, not close enough. Very deflating end for Croatia in this tournament. Worked so hard to get here against all the odds against Brazil. Upset form and the fancy team. Limping out now.
I'll tell you who's not limping out, although they've put in enough energy with the supporters. They're still going strong. Here are a couple of players to make their first appearance at this World Cup. Angel Correa, who plays for Atletico Madrid, he replaced Nicolas Gonzalez ahead of the tournament, who pulled out with a muscle injury. So he's a right winger or a forward. He's coming on, and Molina is the other player who's coming. So Molina and McAllister come off, and so Juan Foyth will replace Molina, the Tottenham player now at Villarreal. Very limited football this season due to a knee injury. Only 5 appearances for the Spanish side. So Juan Foyth comes on at right back for Molina, and Correa comes on to replace Alexis McAllister. And so Messi staying on. He wants to have that moment right at the end.
The manager will be petrified every time the ball goes near him, and hope that nothing happens to him in the last, what we got, 4 or 5 minutes left of normal time.
Yeah.
There was a moment earlier where Perisic just caught him a little bit on the touchline. Nothing major, but immediately, very un-Perisic-like, apologised straight away, made sure he was okay, apologised again.
Just over 3 minutes of normal time remaining. Tagliafico gets on the end of the long clearance by Emi Martinez. Dybala tries to challenge Juranovic, and it comes off the Celtic player, and Tagliafico will take the throw. Tagliafico might not even appear in Sunday's final because Acuna will be back from suspension. So for Nicolas Tagliafico, who started every game in Russia in 2018, that is one of the areas that Scaloni is going to have to make that judgment call. 2 minutes remaining. And once again, the wonderful noise of the Argentinian supporters reverberates around the Lusail Stadium. The other night, you know, they were still here about half an hour after the game. They just didn't leave.
What an atmosphere. So many of them here. Everywhere you go, there's a blue and white top. Really is amazing. They're having a great time, and so they should when their teams or the country's putting in a performance like this.
The beauty of it is that unlike Australia and the Netherlands in the previous two knockout stages, they weren't able to enjoy that. From a fan's point of view, they were put through the shredder. Yet here, they're 3-0 up, and they know they're going to be back here on Sunday.
Yeah, from the 69th minute onwards, wasn't it? And you knew that the game was up. You knew that the jeopardy was out of it. Doesn't happen often as a football fan. You can sit back, relax and enjoy a good 20 minutes, half hour of football.
Messi and Di Maria, the only survivors from that World Cup final defeat, as Maya hits an effort, took a little bit of deflection. Martinez still made the save. They're the only two players who are the survivors from that World Cup final defeat in Brazil 8 years ago, and they've got a chance. Well, Di Maria is actually retiring, isn't he, from the international stage after the World Cup. They could finally have their crowning moment.
What a story that could be. Would have put an end to the debate. Maradona, Messi.
That's a debate that Lady Kelly might be starting with you very, very soon. I'm sure you've had it on the match of the day top 10, have you not?
Yeah, we have.
And what did you go with?
Well, we said if Messi actually wins this, then it might have to be him. That's been the difference. That's been the splitting point, hasn't it? Well, Maradona won the World Cup for us. Well, if he were to win it here, I think my view would change.
So there's a spoiler alert with the back catalogue of that Match of the Day Top 10 series, but the rest of them are available. Am I on commission if I give that a mention?
You're doing well, thank you.
BBC sounds for all of that. 30 seconds remain of normal time. Argentina 3, Croatia 0. We'll find out how much stoppage time there will be very, very soon. Messi, little dart forward, tries to grab the ball back. Palacios was ahead of him. Maya now will bring it clear for Croatia. There's going to be 5 minutes of additional time, and we're into those 5 minutes now. Where are you on the debate, Rob Green?
Well, I didn't want 5 minutes injury time. I don't think the Croatians did either, so I'm not sure what there was to debate about it.
Messi's 5th and final World Cup, and he will end it in the final. Morocco, France tomorrow night. The build-up from 6 with Mark Chapman will determine who his opponents will be. Morocco making history at this World Cup, the first African side to reach the last 4. But the Argentinian supporters have been celebrating for a long time now, with the balloons, the flags and the scarves, are only thinking now and dreaming of what Sunday might provide, as Martinez comes a long way. His handling tonight, Rob, has been exceptional.
Yeah, really good, really confident, looks composed, looks assured, the back line have looked assured, and just never been in doubt. The results never been in doubt. There's never been a wobble. And to go a full hour and a half of football and not have one single wobble or question put against you like that is a really impressive performance. It also says something about Croatia and how they struggled tonight.
Be a 3rd clean sheet in 6 appearances at the World Cup. They're ready to celebrate on the bench down below. In fact, De Paul has been replaced. He's actually joining in. I can see his right arm being punched in the air, and they're bouncing up and down. It's hard to differentiate where the supporters are and the players, because the supporters and the players are joining in with the same celebration.
Great to see. So we should enjoy it as well.
Pure elation, pure enjoyment. So much joy inside this stadium from the Argentinian players and the supporters as the cross from the left, and even now they want to keep that clean sheet as Tagliafico heads the ball behind for a corner kick. The only area that is motionless, the only area that is silent, is the red and white section low down in the bottom tier towards our right-hand side. Croatia, who've always scored at least one in 10 knockout matches at the World Cup, are looking for a consolation. As the cross comes in, they won't get it like that. Poor delivery. It's actually getting louder.
You just think, if you are a Croatia fan, you're standing there and you're beaten, you're disappointed, but you're here.
Lasic trying to turn, and it just comes straight off his left boot and out for a goal kick. In about 2 minutes' time, you probably won't hear the whistle of the Italian referee Daniel Orsato, but you will hear the celebrations of the bench and 50,000 Argentinian fans inside this stadium.
What an incredible job the coach has done, Scaloni, hasn't he? After leading them to success against Brazil, and then there was no panic at the start of this tournament when the result went against them. No panic whatsoever. Stayed calm, come back, get the next result and move on. And they look very impressive tonight. And the decisions that he's made also in terms of selection and systems, they've worked. The way he's handled those two up front and getting the best out of those two up front, and Alvarez and Messi, been magnificent.
And very little coaching experience either at club or international level, but over the last 4 years he's changed the fortunes. They won that Copa America, as we were saying, and here they're going into this World Cup final now, maybe even looking for a fourth goal as Palacios plays the ball forward to Juan Foyth ahead of him on that far side. There are about 30 odd seconds remaining. Foyth high up the pitch on the right, turns back, and there is going to be one hell of a party here in Lusail very, very soon, because we have 20 seconds remaining, and Argentina, who haven't won the World Cup for 36 years, are heading towards their 6th World Cup final. The last 10 seconds remain. Ball is played back. Lovren's going to let one fly from long range. It's over the crossbar. And look at the whistle. And there is the final whistle. And the players run onto the pitch from the substitutes bench. And the Argentinian players out on the field embrace each other. And 50,000 Argentinian supporters inside the Lusail Stadium celebrate with their arms aloft. The balloons, the scarves, the flags are flying, because Lionel Messi, an icon and certainly an inspiration here tonight, knows that he's one step away from the trophy that he craves. They've beaten Croatia by 3 goals to 0.